This corner of England, beautiful with a hint of secrecy which haunts it, as the memory of a dark and tender sadness clouds the brilliance of a summer day. For me, the hint of secrecy is certainly the memories, some sad, some glad. Most Broadophiles have been coming here for years, and every corner holds memories. I often find myself saying things like, I have a photo of my dad here in '74, or we used to have tea and scones here with my mum. I still have a photo from '64 of a boat stuck under Potter Heigham Bridge. Moments in time all too quickly fly past. But here we are again, with my sister Sharon and Edward, her husband, and my good friends Mike and Elizabeth. We'd picked up a boat in Wroxham, and after a leisurely cruise down the River Bure, we reached the renowned Swan Inn, had a chat with other Broadophiles, then al fresco dining in the sunshine with Prince Michael and Princess Elizabeth, overlooking the river, and great food. Happy we'd found a mooring spot here. I had the steak pie. Then off to enjoy the Broads on a beautiful summer's day in June. I have to admit I was getting that nice to be back feeling. All the old familiar sights. I believe there is amongst most Broadophiles the habit of cruising down the river, having a nice chat, perhaps a cuppa. And for me, shooting sights that I've shot 100 times, knowing I now have a better camera and don't want to miss anything. We're now cruising along what is certainly one of the most famous parts of the Broads, that takes us from Horning down to Ranworth. For those unfamiliar with the Norfolk Broads, they're a mixture of rivers, lakes, canals, and old peat diggings that were later flooded when the sea levels rose, usually only a few feet deep. Here we're cruising down the River Bure, pronounced Bure in Norfolk, that enters the sea at Great Yarmouth. Some of the houses are big, others just iconic. Windmills were used not only to mill grain here, but also drain the land. Some places like the Ferry Inn are historic. There was a ferry here that closed only a few years ago that had crossed the river here for 1,000 years. You see, the nearest bridge is 4 miles away, so it's 8 miles by road and about 80 feet by boat. The herons around here are quite tame. We soon arrive at Ranworth Dyke that takes us to Malthouse and Ranworth Broads. I need to explain at this point that Mike and Elizabeth had driven me to Wroxham from Chelmsford and had spent the day with us on the boat. We were giving them a sightseeing experience that comprised a trip to Ranworth. Unfortunately, there were no mooring spaces at Ranworth Staithe, so we had a leisurely cruise back to Wroxham. where my son Nate and his wife Amy were due to arrive at 7 p.m. to spend the weekend with us. It was nevertheless a very pleasant experience as we chatted and made our way back.
Some of the lakes in Southern California there, up in the mountains, they have a lot of boats, a lot of pleasure boats on the lake, and they put portaloos on top of rafts and float them on the lake. So it gives a whole new meaning to a floater.
We left Ranworth at 5 o'clock, and it will take us about an hour and 45 minutes to reach Wroxham. So we had a fun time messing about on the river. Looking back, that was an absolutely great start to our holiday. The evening time is my favorite time to cruise. Most boats are moored up. The evening sunshine is special. And it's the golden hour for photography. Wroxham is sleeping when we arrive. We moored up, said bye to Mike and Liz, and then Nate and Amy arrived, and not wanting to moor up in the boatyard, we cruised back down the river to Salhouse Broad, where we moored up for the night. A great day.